ICENET. Dynasties live here.
Well, the New York Islanders have problems on their defense. Kenny Morrow will be out at least 2 months after undergoing right knee surgery on Thursday. And another defenseman is being slapped on the wrist by the NHL. Stefan Persson is undergoing a 5-game suspension. The Islanders open their season Friday night in the Meadowlands against the Devils, and Persson will miss 5 games.
There's the errant pass picked up by Gord Dineen at his own blue line. Stops and he makes a nice pass to Bossy going through the middle. And Bossy, up at the top of the screen, is Russell in pursuit. But Bossy, with that quick trigger, makes it 1-0 at 9:33. Dineen, of course, assisting, and Glenn Resch thinking it's going to happen again. He'd been defeated 13 straight times by his old teammates. Bossy making it 1-0. Let's go to the second period. There's Dave Lack to John Tonelli, and off the goalpost to the right of Glenn Resch, and it's 2-0. Bossy and Brent Sutter assisting on John Tonelli's first goal of the season. Right in front of the net, you see the puck passed. It went behind the net. There's Lewis. What's he doing in there? But while he's in there, creating a disturbance, Broughton scores from Gagne and Wilson in the second period, making it 2-1, and the New Jersey Devils are on a roll. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Verbeek, he's put it right between the legs of Roland Melanson, and he's head over heels happy with making the score 2-2. McLean and Pichette assist. There's Russell as he lets go of the shot. Bridgman tips it. Melanson got a piece of it, but the rebound, Bridgman easily pounded it into the net, making it the score, a whopping 7-2 defeat for the Islanders in their opening game. Let's go down and is about to score. That one, a forehand shot from in close. Nice pass from Clark Gillies. And to prove the fact that he had a backhand. Right here, the puck intercepted, and Billy Carroll with a quick backhand shot in behind Esposito for his second goal. He also, right after this, several years, Andy Van Helleman is the first in the national 10. Got it to the corner.
Save, and Bob Murray slaps it around the boards and all the way there with a slap shot. Bossy to the point for Janssen. He winds up, shoots. Bannerman got a piece of that, and it trickled past the post. That's out of the reach of Bourne, who come in for the backhand position. Bourne to Goring. He got a skate on it, and Bannerman made the 30. Back to Potvin. Fires it wide. Then can't get around Dineen, and LaFontaine caught up with him from behind. And the Secord. Better's going across. Good shot by Savard, and excellent save by Rudy. Better took it from LaFontaine, goes back to the net. Bannerman was way out of position, and now we're going to get a penalty. Brent Sutter in front of the net. The shot was partially deflected, actually into the Islanders' zone, making the play across to Gardner to Patterson, and he was checked. Here's John Tonelli leading the Islanders. Trying to get around Patterson, touch to the right. Heads on to the puck and get it. Beat Brown out in the Chicago defense. Couldn't clear it out. Potvin across to Gillies. Bannerman pucks in to Sutter. Trying to get it right back to Gillies, and it was intercepted. That's Steve Lewis. Mike Bossy out at right wing for the Islanders. Breaks up the play at center ice. Bossy takes a look, finds Potvin coming down the left side. Potvin carries around the Ranger defense. He's across the line, gives it to Goring. To Bossy, shoots, he scores! WOR TV Sports presents New York Islanders hockey. Tonight's game between the New York Islanders and the Detroit Red Wings is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctive, clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. The Good Olds Guys, the Oldsmobile dealers of New York, New Jersey, and Southern Connecticut. Mobil One Synthetic Motor Oil. You can't get better engine protection. The people of Eastern Airlines, they earn their wings every day. By your Toyota dealer and the unique 1985 Toyota van. It's a whole new movement changing the world of vans. And by National Westminster Bank USA and American Bank with worldwide resources.
again, everybody, and welcome back. WOR-TV with its 1-4. And with a backhander is blocked. The stick went up into the mask of Steffen, shaking him up. Sutter's drive is blocked. Good set up by Steffen. Big rebound is loose.
Shot finally gets the equalizer.
Has been called up because of an injury to Brian Trottier. Handles the puck at center ice. Now Potvin coming right in, and he was hooked. Power play goal last night. Potvin unable to hold the puck in the Detroit zone after losing the stick, and here's a chance for Mano into the Islander end. Bob Mano's shot. Ellie put it out in front. Brent Sutter's shot was blocked. Out comes Foster for the Red Wings. Gave it to Bossy. Steffen robs him. Bossy centers one again into the skates of Brent Sutter. Then Bossy shot it wide. Sutter left the puck, and Alupa fires one off the ball. Set up Gillies. Shot changed direction. Fontaine unable to come out of the corner. Sutter feeds it back. Diddick at the right point. Lets it go, and that was off the top. To Kortko, and it was just out of his reach. Comes back to the left point for Boudelier. Lets one go, and that sailed wide. But this one probably is best in the game. Pressure by Detroit. A puck cocked up right in front of the net. There's the shot close in. Good stuff by Kelly Rudy. Dave Williams.
Goals in the third period and won a game 6-4. Tuesday night against the Devils, last night against the Red Wings. Same thing. Let's go to the videotape. Third period, 4-2 Wings on 2 goals by Park, who, by the way, is injured and will miss a couple games. Bossy to Tonelli, and it was 4-3. 44 seconds later, it was Brent Sutter to Gillies, and it was 4-4. 4 minutes, 52 seconds later, Fontaine. This time, again to Gillies, and Gillies comes in with a hat trick, and it's 5-4 Islanders. Then, 2 minutes later, Tonelli, Sutter to Bossy, and Bossy ends it all 6-4. The Islanders win it. In Pittsburgh last night,
because they were in action last night, they played the Islanders. Brad Park had them up 3-2. In the third period, Park had them up 4-2. But did they hang on and win? No, they couldn't finish this one out. They really caved in. Back come the Islanders, but we've seen this act before. John Tonelli would score. It was 4-3. Clark Gillies would score. That tied it up at 4-4. Gillies had the hat trick. He'd have the winning goal. We'll show you that one. That made it 5-4. The final was 6-4. So Detroit had a rough night last night. Here's Bossy with the last goal, as they were unable to hold on to that lead.
A little carried away. I guess they don't have a very good story to write, so they got to make it up. Well, I opened my check on the 15th, and they didn't deduct me any, so I still don't feel too bad.
so right now at least.
The puck up off the boards, bouncing and rolling. And there's Bossy as he steps around.
Up at this point. He wants
defense. Bossy shoots, scores. Islanders lead 3-1. In the second period, it's Bossy time again. Here he comes. Mike Bossy shoots. That is the hat trick. He had 4 goals on the night.
The Devils got the hat trick early in the second period. He ended up scoring 4 goals in the night. The Islanders 8 and Los Angeles 3.
Don Maloney scored to make the score 4-3 at 11:43. Out from behind the net. Where are the Islander defensemen? They're both standing on the same side of the net. There's Potvin. There's Thomas Johnson. And the puck goes off the leg of the goaltender, Kelly Rudy. And it's Sandstrom's goal from Don Maloney and Allison at 4:40. A short-handed goal, something that's always exciting in hockey. Pat LaFontaine chasing the puck down, but James Patrick intercepted it. And away goes Patrick. What an up-and-coming star for the New York Rangers. He winds up, watch the stick of Dennis Potvin. Patrick, time, slams it. Now watch the puck, how it dipped. Hard shot, it started to go down and went down quickly and got underneath the catching. Third period. Third period action, the Islanders trying to get back and get even. There's a hard shot, a beauty by Sutter from Bossy and Potvin at 7:17 of the third period. The Islanders weren't finished yet. That was a power play goal. Take a look at some of the confusion in the Rangers' end of the ice as the Islanders finally get some momentum going. The Islanders start to press. There's a shot by Flatley. Good stop by Hanlon. There's the rebound try by LaFontaine.
Points would be the player of the week. There are the stats on Mike Bossy, 10 goals.
Beat Vancouver 6-5. But the question is, once again, Billy Smith did not play. They're going to trade him or what? Let's go to the videotape. The Islanders cut it to 5-4. 6.5 left in the game. Johnson shoots. Brent Sutter tips it in. 6. That made it 5-5. The hat trick for Sutter. Pick up that hat. Now, minute 3 left in the game. Paul Boudelier, 59-footer, deflected in by LaFontaine, and the Islanders win it 6-5. Canadians beat Quebec 3-1.
Take a 3-0 lead after one, but Brent Sutter came back, and he came up with this goal to make it 3-1. Later on, he came up with another goal. He came up with 3 for the night, this making it 4-2. Sutter would tie the game at 5 as well right here. and Mr. Pat LaFontaine hit with 107 left to win it for the Islanders. The final score, 61.
The Rangers 7-3. Roland Milan's sharper than that's the Big Apple rivals now 1 up and 1 down so far. Islanders back to basics after being steamrolled by the Bruins. Thomas Johnson's shot deflected off a Rangers skate. 2-0 lead in the first. Glenn Hanlon in goal. The Rangers own the best power play in the NHL so far. James Patrick's goal cut the Islanders' lead 2-1 after the first period. Early second, Brent Sutter deflected Johnson's slapper. The first of 2 for Brent, who's torrid. 3-1 Islanders. Early third, Bossy scored his 13th goal in the Islanders' 9 games. Bossy also had 4 assists. 7-3 Islanders. The Bossy Tonelli Sutter line had 9 points tonight. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh won it.
Gresham holds on to Stefan Pearson, and it results in a James Patrick goal. Beats Glenn Hanlon 4-2. The Isles win at 7-3. Whalers return to the Hartford Civic Center tomorrow night for
4 assists as the Islanders skated to a 7-3 win over the Rangers. Isles in white here came out hungry. Just 59 seconds into the game, Dwayne Sutter gets some room, blasts a shot that beats Glenn Hanlon between the pads. He should have had it, but didn't. Isles lead it 1-0. Isles tried to physically intimidate the Rangers. Clark Gillies welcomes Thomas Sandstrom to the island. Guys have gone to jail for less than this. Gillies finally ripped Sandstrom's helmet off. All right, key goals, second period. Isles leading 3-2. Anders Keller beats Ron Greshner, cuts in on Hanlon, lets a shot go that Hanlon seems to have, but it rolls up. North Stars on Long Island. The Devils played the Bruins up in Boston. Let's start with the Isles and North Stars. First period action, no score yet. Isles digging behind the Minnesota net. Out in front to Dennis Potvin. He'll take a swipe at it, and it goes in. Isles lead it 1-0. Still in the first. Watch Brian Trottier finally back in the lineup, digging out the puck and at the puck in front, out-muscling Don Beaupre, the Minnesota goalie. He scores it.
Dennis Potvin puts the Islanders in front, 1-0. It was the first of a lot for the Islanders. 8 minutes, second period. The Islanders continuing to apply pressure. Brent Sutter scoring on this one. Clark Gillies then taking his turn, and it was 4-0 after 2. Mike Bossy got his chance opening the third period, making it 5-0 Islanders. They went on to beat the North Stars.
Take this into matters into my own skates, and he did. On the other side, Don Beaupre played excellent hockey at the start. Here, a tremendous reaction and a double save to snatch this one away. But it all changed quickly. Watch the fluke here as Tonelli carries over. And off the boards and off the skates. That makes them for this, but it happens to all of them. Man, when it's not your night, it really isn't. And these guys earn their money. They got to go through the tension, the pregame. Everybody throws up. They're all nervous, and then they get in the game, and this happens. A deflected puck right to the chin, or below the chin. A hockey goalie
point to make it 2-1 Islanders. Then at the tail end of the second period, Doug Crossman returns the favor right there, a power play goal of his very own to make it 2-2. 7:17 into the third, the Flyers go back on top. Dave Brown deflects one, pass
Beaupre or Gilles Meloche. Well, I talked to Scotty Bowman a few minutes ago. He says, watch, it's going to be Beaupre who's going to go.
7:54 and it was 1-0. Here's Brent Sutter. Drops the puck back. Watch the shot by Flatley. It's low and in the right-hand corner. Beautiful shot by Flatley using the defenseman as a Dennis Potvin. So many players like the opportunity to do what he just did. Lay the puck out in front of them, skate in, and
Caliber of play at the Garden tonight. The Islanders continuing their turn, knocked off the Caps tonight, 5-3. Watch the pass from Greg Gilbert, and it's Brian Trottier, 52 seconds into the third period, giving the Isles a 3-0 lead. Trottier.
New York Islanders coasted to their 6th consecutive home victory, a 5-3 win over Washington. Pat LaFontaine skating in with a shot from the point for 1 right there. Some crisp passing right here after the missed drive. A nice centering pass over to Brian Trottier, who nets 1 of 2 for the night for him. Brent Sutter also had a deuce. He takes the face-off right here, moves in, makes a nice little move, going in all alone. The Isles beat the Capitals 5-3.
Tonight, smothering Washington 5-1 with Kelly Rudy in goal, stopping 31 of 32 shots. The Caps started U.S. Olympic goalie Bob Mason. Mike Bossy said howdy do with his 23rd while falling down less than 8 minutes into the action. Mats Helin had 2 goals in the first period. His second came at the 13-minute mark on a backhander. 3-0 Islanders after Helin's 3rd of the season. And in the second period, Bossy popped his 2nd of the game, his 24th. The Islanders were fat 4-0. Bossy also had an assist, the 5-1 final. The Islanders unbeaten.
Right here, he jumped in the air. Caught his left knee. I think when he banged it down. Howard Chuck, he kept it between the legs of Billy Smith. There's the pass in front. There's Howard Chuck, dangerous. He's led the Winnipeg Jets in scoring. Drops it to Steen, lets it go. Smith just got a piece of that. Little ear shot
Just wide of Brian Hayward. Hasn't said it officially, but this could very well be his last season.
Caught me kind of unawares when you mentioned that.
Trying to get in deeper. Bumped back of the net by Babbage. The puck loose. Babbage lost it to Bourne. Out to Boudelier. He shoots. He scores! Paul Boudelier. Montreal and Buffalo played an overtime tie at Buffalo. 2-2. At the defensive penalty as Arneal was knocked down by Flatley, and
Smith and his net as he pulled up.
The Islander forwards will be Bourne and Goring with Persson and Janssen on defense. Back comes Waters. He's checked by Tonelli. Tonelli and Flatley over the line with Brent Sutter. Flatley comes in off the wing, shoots, he scores! Flatley second of the night. It's 3-1.
It's happened again. Winnipeg.
And by your New York, New Jersey Buick dealer. When you're Buick.
And Barry Beck feels strongly that the Rangers
into the Islander end. That's the shot go. The shot hit the referee on the left leg. He is dancing to a different beat right now, and Janssen has cleared the puck up into the seats. Play is called with 40 seconds left. Smith,
good stop by Billy Smith. Couldn't control the rebound. There's Picard as he comes in. He run into Smith as they try to untangle. The helmet and mask of Smith come off. Sutter had ripped the puck around the boards in the direction you saw them all looking. The puck hit.
Sutter headed for the John Tonelli from the blue line. Fires when he scores! Oh, he just drilled one the full 80 feet from the blue line into the top left corner of the net. It's 4-1. Red Sutter pretty well puts this one away for the Islanders, making it 5-2.
Open from Turnbull. Turnbull should be upset with himself, and he was. There's the pass to Sutter. He makes it look easy as he slides.
17 seconds. Get on the board. Mike Bossy circles, feeds perfectly. Greg Gilbert scores. 1-0 Islanders. Game itself pretty boring. Little extracurricular activity here. Mats Helene and Garth Butcher going after it. All kinds of punches thrown. Going to give Helene the decision on points, I think. As far as hockey goes, all Islanders here. Brent Suter leaves a 2-on-1 break. Great move right there.
Rico to the far wide. Garth Butcher moves in. A good play at the defense position. Just hauled down with a shot, but missed. It was way off the target. For a backhander that hit Longin off the stick of Green.
And they wouldn't be trying to play catch-up. What elation here in the Pacific Coliseum as the Vancouver Canucks, on a shot by Thomas Gradine into the far left-hand corner, has made it now 5-4 with 1 minute and 10 seconds, and a timeout now being called by one of the remaining in the hockey game.
Clear is shot it high. Bossy feeds it up to Bourne off his stick at center ice toward an empty net, and he missed. He had crossed center ice, so there is no icing, and the Canucks start out. Line in with a backhand shot. That's off the glove hand. They get it to the line, but not out, and Hallward shot with no time left on the clock, goes nowhere. The Canucks lose for the 9th consecutive time, but they gave the Islanders
division. New York beat Vancouver last night, 1-0. Isles 1-17 in on the power play. Mike Bossy to Greg Gilbert, and it was 3-0 after 1. 34 seconds into the second. Tomas Janssen surveys the situation to Brian Trache. Straight wide for Mike Bossy. He'll make it 4-0, and it looks very easy.
Tonelli shoots toward the save, and he covers up. A break in the action. A little less than 17 minutes to play in the opening period. The Islanders lead the Oilers.
Front 1-0. John Tonelli ties it at 1. His first of 3. 10 seconds later, Thomas Steen made it 2-1. Jets. Very fast work there, but John Tonelli again on a 2-on-1. He goes in and scores. It's tied at 2. Second period, 9 minutes, 10 seconds gone by. Tonelli gets his third of the night. The Islanders never looked back. They went on to beat the Jets in the final 7-4. So Islanders over Winnipeg, Boston.
Improvement tonight, a 1-0 sparkler in Hartford. Whalers and Islanders scoreless till midway in the second period. Greg Gilbert 7th from Caller and Flatley, the only goal of the game. Gilbert 7th and his 100th career point. The Islanders outshot the Whalers 28-25. Goalie Kelly Rudy notched his first NHL shutout. The Islanders' third straight win, breaking the Whalers' 5-game unbeaten streak. 1-0. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh 4, Philadelphia 2. The Penguins' 6th win in 7 games, putting them 1 point ahead of the Devils, 3 ahead of the
Penguins tonight, and the Islanders got 4 third-period goals for a 5-2 win. This is third-period action with the score tied at 2. Potvin to Bossy, and this one puts the Islanders up 3-2. Then after Pittsburgh fails to clear, it is Stefan Pearson to Flatley to Boudelier. The slap shot by Boudelier, and the Islanders go up 4-2.
Greg Gilbert added another to make it 5-2. That was the second goal, and that was the
New York Islanders, now trailing in the Patrick division behind the leading Caps and the Flyers, came up with a win on the road at Detroit behind Brent Sutter and the play of Mike Bossy. Here's some highlights, picking it up first of all in the first period of play. Watch the great effort here by Pat LaFontaine. Falling to the ice, he manages to swipe it past Greg Stefan. 1-0 Islanders. They led 2-0 after a period. John Tonelli dives after the loose puck. Mike Bossy passes it back to the point, and Bossy scores it on the rebound. That was goal number 450 of Bossy's career, and it gave the Islanders a 3-0 lead. Stefan makes one save here. The puck is batted around. Finally, off the scramble, Brent Sutter flips it over Stefan to make it a 4-0 Islander game. In the third period, with a 4-1 score, John Ogrodnik blasted between the legs of Person and passed Redney, 25th of the year for him. Mike Bossy with a one-handed pass to Sutter to easily get the goal to make it a 5-2 Islander lead. On the power play, Sutter deflects Jansson's pass. Melcalf is 23rd of the year, 3rd of the night, the hat trick, and that led the Islanders to their 7-2 win over the Red Wings.
That's all they needed to beat the Canadiens. Montreal was on the power play, 7 minutes remaining in the first, and the puck comes to Pat Flatley. The Canadian Olympic hero gives to Brian Trottier, lifts it upstairs, past Doug Sotar, 1-0 Isles. The Islanders were up a man. Thomas Jansson from inside the blue line, past Sotar again, 2-zip. Isles win the game 3-1. College basketball tonight, Eastern Connecticut's first outing in exactly a month.
Score, good pass, Pat Flatley to Brian Trottier. Doug Sotar, no chance. Isles in front, 2-0. Now, physical game all the way. Chris Nyland, Brett Sutter, exchange words. Gord Lane steps in, gloves are off, the fight is on. Decision to Nyland here, but the game belongs to the Islanders. Finalists 3-1. In Detroit tonight, the Wings against one of the two teams the Isles are chasing, the Washington Capitals. Lance Lambert, Detroit, first period slap shot. Watch it slowly trickle through Pat Riggins' pads, 2-0 Wings. Now, Scott Stephen comes back to score twice for the Caps in the second period. Watch the blast here. Going to get through Corrado Mikalev, 2-2 game, and now to the third period of play. The Caps on the move. Here we go. Going after the lead goal, and give it to Mike Gartner. Super effort. The loose puck heads in. The shot, the save, the rebound, though. He scores it. That's the winning.
Teams picked up by the Boston Bruins because of the Bruins' loss to center Barry Peterson out for the rest of the year. All right, let's go to the videotape. Tonight's game. Islanders home white first period. Flatley. Nice pass to Trottier. One-on-one. Beats Sotar shorthand. Who had 2 fights in the first period. But net. Bossy feeds Trottier. That's it. 3-1 Islanders win it. Nice game for Kelly Rudy, who had 30 saves to match his number. In Detroit, the games tonight. Sabres and Hartford, 4-4 tie. Edmonton beat Quebec 4-0.
No serve. Bill Smith beats Doug Wilson. What a turning point in a hockey game. We'll have to see what the reaction from Chicago players are going to be now. Wilson went in. He looked down, Jiggs. I couldn't believe. Kelly went off the side of the net. Bounces off Langevin. Ludzik in deep, centered it right to the goal mouth. Comes to right wing, and 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Gardner handling the puck at center. Right side to Larmer. Gets around Langevin, and shot hit the post. Bill Gardner checked. Ludzik is taken off the plate. Still remaining. A timeout has now been called by Bossy. Bossy holding on to an Islander zone with Lane. Will get a face-off. To lead Vancouver 3-2 in the second period. Center's one in front. Off the stick. It's under Potvin. Comes loose. Larmer a backhander. Smith the save. An open corner of the net. And tapped hit Mike Bossy. And Bossy clears it. It goes off it into Savard. Savard turning up high. Takes the shot. Gets around 2-man centers. And Potvin got a piece of it but couldn't clear it. Here's Savard rounding the net. Centers it to the goal mouth. Troy Murray fires it right back the opposite way, and Bossy has cleared it to center off the boards, but it goes right to Potvin. Lost it to Doug Wilson, a slap shot off the stick of Lane and up into the seat. You can't get any closer, Jiggs, and not put it in. Chicago in good. The puck from the face-off, and Trottier knocked it away from him. Lysiak gets it over the line to Larmer, shoots one that bounces off Potvin. Smith scoops it up. There's the horn. The Islanders hold on for a 6-5 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. It is not pretty. It didn't come easy. Smith is down. He has been hurt, it appears. 6, the Chicago Blackhawks 5. We'll be back with a recap.
Happened late in the second, made it 5-2 Islanders. Chicago came back with 3, setting up a penalty shot for Chicago's Doug Wilson. Billy Smith in goal. The Islanders leading by 1 at this point, and Smitty stopped them, and the Islanders win the game 6-5. Elsewhere in the NHL, Philadelphia 7, Calgary 1. Brian Propp with the hat trick 2.
Look at this. It falls off, hits the post. Steve Larmer falls on Billy Smith. See that? He hits him in the helmet. He had 3 slashing calls in the game, but the Blackhawks couldn't capitalize on the power plays, at least in the first period. And so Mike Bossy takes it off the backboard, puts it up 3-0 Islanders. It looked like a blowout. But then the Blackhawks go to work. Behind the net, Flatley feeds Bob Bourne, and they're up 6-2. Then in the third period, the Blackhawks finally woke up. Tough game for the Isles against the Flyers the night before. Look at that backhand by Dennis Savard. And 17,000 in the stadium sense something going on. It's 6-5. Smith's latest penalty gives a penalty shot to Doug Wilson, but in a one-on-one, he...
There's Mr. Gretzky with 43 goals, 75 assists in 41 games, 118 scoring points just over the midway point of the season. His line mate and teammate Yari Curry next with 85 points. Then it's Mike Bossy with 34 goals, 38 assists for 72 points. 8 behind him, Dale Howardchuck of Winnipeg with 64 points, and the Islanders' Brent Sutter
after 1 period last week.
To Cam Neely, and then he catches Billy Smith moving in on the shot. Wraps it around, puts it in the lower left-hand corner. Neely is 9th.
A piece of that that went off the post as well. 5 that missed the net. Comes to the left side for LeMay. LeMay holding on to it. Played it back to the goal. Smith trying to knock it away from one of the Canuck players. Now LeMay gives it to Bellin. Across the Bubala to Bellin. Bellin in front to McNabb. Found the spot and shot it right at Smith in the backhand. And the rebound went way wide of the net. 10 seconds remaining in this power play as Bellin comes out in front of the backhander. That missed the net. Bob Bourne over on it, missed the net. Little left his stick. Lupel was standing. Comes in on goal. Shoots. Going back into the far corner for it. Langevin just dumps it to McAdam, who waited outside the line. Now shoots it right back in. Comes off the board. This time to Boudelier. Around to the right wing. There's nobody there at the moment. Boudelier, he and Langevin on defense. Bob Bourne is up front with Brent Sutter and Pat Flatley as Semenko. Dave Semenko blows it away from Brent Sutter. Banks it off the boards for Huddy. Up to give it to him. Right there, he unleashed it. Krushelnyski with the puck now. Trying to get away from Trache. Trache stays right with him. Anderson picks it up at center. Gets over the Islander line. Langevin couldn't check him. Anderson dipsy doodles, and Kelly Fruity came out to make the stop. Up it comes from the left side, but not out. Krushelnyski centering attempt. Picked off, and Boudelier gives it to Tonelli. Vogelin got a piece of him. Gretzky has the puck. The pass to Anderson. Anderson comes in the right wing. Back it goes to Hunter. Turns and shot it off Dwayne Sutter. Langevin slaps it clear for Tonelli. Tonelli across to Dwayne Sutter on right wing. Works on Kevin Lowe. Sutter puts on the break. Shoots it around the board. Yep. Across the line, holding on to it. Centers to Gretzky, and Potvin knocked it out of his reach. Hunter worked it to the corner, but Potvin has put on one brilliant performance here tonight. Dwayne Sutter with the puck, and his shot was deflected. Somebody threw a stick at it, I think. Doesn't matter. Play goes on. Anderson is checked, and Trache has it out at center, giving it to Potvin. Potvin checked by Anderson. Loose puck at the Islander line. Tonelli over to help out. John Tonelli gets checked. Anderson sends Gretzky over the line. Gretzky shifting. Back it goes, and Krushelnyski missed it. Up comes Tonelli. One man back. Now two as Tonelli moves in on Lowe. Shooting that went wide as the siren sounds. This game ends in a 3-3 tie.
Them 6-2 in the first period. The Islanders outshot the Flyers 13-5, and at the end of the first period it was 5-0. Let's look as Pat Flatley, a little give and go, one of the real cute plays of hockey that works. When it works right, it looks great, and that's a good finish by Flatley from Greg Gilbert. That was at 4 minutes into the hockey game, and it was 1-0. A minute and 36 seconds later, a mishandle, a miscue, good check by Brent Sutter, but the puck goes boom right to John Tonelli, and it's in the net. He making it look very easy. An unassisted goal by Tonelli at 5:36 made it 2-0, and the Islanders were rolling, and the Philadelphia Flyers didn't know which way to go. They ran all over the place. There's a perfect pass. Bob Bourne to John Tonelli again. Brent Sutter also assisted on Tonelli's goal. That one at 15:43, and it was 3-0 quickly for the Islanders. Here with some checking going on, Dennis Potvin picks up the puck from Pat Flatley, and then spots down the right side Pat LaFontaine, and LaFontaine with a great move right in front of Pelle Lindbergh, popped it in, and it was 4-0 with Pat LaFontaine scoring at 16:05. Dennis Potvin and Patrick Flatley assisting on the goal. The Islanders weren't finished yet, neither was the first period. There's a nice drop pass. Dwayne Sutter, he took both defensemen with him. Brent Sutter reached in quickly with a loose puck in front of the net and blasted it by Pelle Lindbergh at 17:41, and it was 5-0 at the end of the first period. That was a power play goal by Brent Sutter, coming with Carson, Lindsey Carson, in the penalty box for hooking, and the Islanders went on to dominate the game, and as we mentioned, win it 6-2. Well, a man that's a winner all the time, we love to hear from him. He's always got something exciting for us, Stan Fischler.
Thank you, Eddie. Tonight's Zany World of Hockey's chapter is the case of the good-looking rookie who looked too good. It was in the 1930s, and the Rangers had a rookie by the name of Alex Shabicki, and they were playing Toronto. And Shabicki's manager, Lester Patrick, said he wanted him to check Charlie Conacher, who was the best scorer in the league. Well, he said to Shabicki, all I want you to do is watch Conacher. That's all, watch Conacher. Shabicki said, okay, Mr. Patrick, that's fine. So the game went on, and what do you think happened?
And that's what makes it so much.
Centers it to the blue line for Gord Lane. Elliott the save, and Dwayne Sutter knocks it around. Flatley working back of the net, gave it to Lane, and his shot against Fox of the Kings. They waved the first two centermen away. Gord Lane shot right off. Wells gets knocked down by Brent Sutter, and Elliott has come out to score.
Philadelphia Islanders are doing what they want to do, Jim. What they want to do, they're going to
Elliott with Gilbert cutting in.
Of a non-rushing Islander. That's so the referee doesn't get the idea that he's deliberately holding on to the puck too long. He's saying
right side, shooting it in deep, going back for it is Diddick. Long shot is off the blocking glove of Kelly Rudy.
Up into the seats. Probably the first
one with Flatley. Wells is back. Sutter shot, he scores! Brent Sutter puts the Islanders on top for the first time tonight.
They catch them flat-footed. It's a 2-on-1. He faked and then let the shot go. Beautiful shot into the lower left-hand corner. And the
12:52. Shot is steered out by the stick save from Elliott. Now, saying thank you. They got some help. Can't get in around the defense cleanly. Goes off and taken up into the seats. Elliott got his blocking glove in front of that blistering shot off Tonelli's stick. It cleared and over the glass into the seats with 50. At 12:52. On right wing, centers one. It's kicked out by Elliott. He reached for it, then made contact with the pads, and here's Wells. After it, his shot is a pad save by Elliott. But again, shoots and overshot the puck. Raskowski.
Known as a special breed.
We come back, David.
He takes the puck behind the net, passes in front to Brent Sutter, and the referee said the puck went in. By the way, the Leafs disagreed. The Isles then iced it in the third. Clark Gillies leaves for Scott Housen. His third goal, and he just came up from the minors. Isles win it 4-1.
Let's go to the videotape. 2-1 Islanders on a disputed goal. Third period, 4 minutes left in the game. Rookie Scott Housen beats it, makes it 3-1, and that was his third goal in 2 games since being recalled. Then, watch this one, folks. 47 seconds left in the game. 19-year-old Gerald Dudek, 180-foot shot. You've got it. Open net for.
Healthy out to snap a 4-game winless string tonight, and they do it. 4-1 the final over Toronto. First period, there is no score. Pat Flatley on the wing to Brian Trottier in the slot. One continuous motion. 1-0 Islanders lead. Now, Leafs tie it up. Then controversial goal for the Isles. John Snelly to Brent Sutter. Now, watch. It looks like it's off the post. Goal judge says goal. The ref agrees. Replay indicates otherwise. Take a look for yourself. Off the post. After the period, Toronto coach Dan Maloney not real pleased, but that is the winning goal. 4-1. Islanders take it.
Player with 1,000 points, and he helped his team, which had fallen behind the North Stars 4-0, come back to secure a 4-4 overtime tie. Let's pick up the action. First period, it was all the Minnesota North Stars. Kelly Rudy stops Gord Chevron's blast. Dennis Maruk nudges the rebound just over the goal line. 1-0 North Stars. Just 16 seconds after that, Tony McKegney beats Rudy with a wrist shot. His 22nd goal of the year, and the North Stars with a 2-0 lead. Second period, Isles on the power play. Stars break out. Tom McCarthy with a beautiful pass to Neil Broughton, who has the whole net to shoot at.
Al Arbor obviously concerned at this point. His team is down 3-0. Now 4-1 Stars, Minnesota power play. Brian Trottier steals from Bob Rouse. Trottier fights off Rouse, and Deke's former teammate Rolly the goalie Melanson, his second goal of the game, 4-2 North Stars, and that was the 1,000th career point. Third period, 4-3. And after the cheering for Trottier, Dennis Potvin to Mike Bossy, who hits the crossbar, but John Tonelli scores on the rebound, and that final, once again, in overtime, the Islanders 4 and the North Stars 4. How would you like to have this line? They did in the Canada Cup, Bossy, Suter, and Tonelli. How about Bossy? 39 goals, 42 assists, 81 points. Suter, 30 and 43 and 73 total points on the year. Bork and Langway, the defenseman, and Tom Barrasso of the Sabres.
From Springfield to replace him. As for Kurt Frazier, he is hoping to return to the Blackhawks lineup Wednesday night against the Winnipeg Jets.
Hosted that Philadelphia team tonight at the Nassau Coliseum, and there seemed to be an atmosphere of an indoor storm to match the one outdoors. Like snowflakes, the puck was flying everywhere. Gord Dineen opened up the buckshot attack with his first Islander goal. The Flyers tied it up, and then John Tonelli put them ahead again as the assault continued, and that was followed by Pat Flatley, and it appeared the Isles were about to snow the Flyers. Adding to the first period shoveling was Dennis Potvin, who scored career goal number 250. That was Flatley. And the first period ended at 4-1 Islanders. But Philadelphia came back to tie it up at 5-all, with the Islanders then going up 6-5 to end the second period. Greg Gilbert, though, has made it 7-5 Islanders. They're now late in the third period. The Islanders up by 2. The Rangers just underway.
And that's 5 in their current 7-game road trip. The Islanders prevailing 7-5 thanks to Mike Bossy's hat trick. George McPhee of the Rangers cross-checked Bobby Nystrom from behind. They had a duke-out that lasted a couple of dozen punches. Nystrom ended what McPhee started with a headbutt, so he was thrown out of the game for deliberately trying to injure. As if punches don't try to do the same thing. 2-1 Rangers after 1. Mike Bossy tied it with the second of the game. Midway through the second, Barry Beck's blast deflected by Mike Rogers. 3-2 Rangers on Rogers' second of the game, his 17th. 4 minutes before the end of the second, Anders Hedberg on a second try with his 11th, 5-3 Rangers. But those Islanders bounced back as the Rangers ran out of gas. Greg Gilbert tied it at 5 with his 13th early in the third. Anders Kaller then popped his second of the game, working with Pat LaFontaine. 6-5 Rangers. They won 7-5 on Bossy's open netter. After the game, Marv was in the locker room.
Thanks, Sal, and this is Mike Bossy.
I came back into the play. It was a very, very nice gesture on his part.
By the way, under Craig Patrick, the Rangers now 2-6. The Devils whipped the Penguins
around the boards to Mike Bossy. Watch him now push it up for Brent Sutter. He'll glide it in with 8 seconds to go in the period. A big goal makes it a 5-4 game. In the third, 5-5 game. Anders Keller to Pat LaFontaine. Back to Anders. He scores 6-5 Islanders. Final minute. Rangers have pulled the goalie, Sutter and Bossy. It's Bossy with the goal. The final, 7-5 Islanders. Jerry Azar talked to Bossy after
with
the
Mike
game.
Bossy, the hat trick. Come on, give us a break. Result, less than 1 minute later. There you see the butt. It's Rogers on the power play, beating Rudy right here to make it 2-1 Rangers. Now, second period, 2-2. Beck shoots. Rogers deflects it in. It's 3-2 Rangers. After exchange of goals, 4-3 Rangers. Hedberg shoots.
2 other Islanders with brothers in the National Hockey League. Brian Trottier and Walter Sutter. Trottier, of course, Rocky, making his presence felt against the Islanders. The Jersey Devils scored the other night for the Devils. Gord Dineen, brother Kevin, with Hartford. We have 2 Kerrs in the lineup today, but they are not brothers. Tim Kerr for Philadelphia, Alan Kerr for the New York Islanders. And Sutter in forechecking. And Flatley to Greg Gilbert, up to Brent Sutter, shoots, he scores! They make it look easy. Beautiful goal by Sutter. Flatley in the corner. There's Sutter, kicks it to Flatley. Gilbert in front of the net. Pass broken up by 2. How, but Gilbert took a loose puck. For the life of me, I can't understand any penalty control it. There's the flip pass. Bossy left all alone. Bossy is for.
All of us can buy that card now for 2 cents at the bubblegum card shops. Now, the idea is to invest on it because of all the fans that look to see in the span of 5 years, that card, which was worth 2 cents back then, is now going for $25 around North America. Islanders' first season, and unfortunately, they didn't put the lettering on the uniforms. You'll have to ask Topps why. But Eddie looks like he's better.
How do you get all these cards?
Well, it's not easy.
Pressed.
Probably if there was an explanation for that, Jiggs, it was because when I arrived here in New York, I don't know whether they didn't have a sweater or they figured that I wasn't going to be here.
4-1, 2 goals for Patrick Sundstrom of Vancouver. At the Coliseum, the Islanders, who were called pansies, among other things, by their coach Al Auber, bounced back from the 9-3 loss to the Rangers, beat Calgary tonight 8-4. Brent Sutter opened the scoring for the Isles. 2 minutes in, he beats Reggie Lemelin. A 1-0 Islanders lead, 2 goals for Brent. He now has 36. Minute and a half later, Dennis Potvin off the slap, his 10th of the year. 2-0 Islanders. They led throughout. Moving to the third, things got rough. Bob Nystrom slugging it out with the rookie Neil Sheehy, each receiving 5 for fighting. Nystrom hit with an additional 10-minute misconduct. Closing it out, here's Mike Bossy with his 48th of the season, late third.
The Flames 8-4. Let's go to the videotape. First period, 2-1 Islanders in the home white. Boudelier shoots, Flatley deflects it in, and it's 3-1 Islanders. Just 28 seconds later, Gilbert steals the puck to Caller, and it's 4-1 Islanders. In the second period, now 5-3, Boudelier's pass to Brent Sutter, beating Donnie Edwards, who replaced Lemelin to make it 6-3. Then third period, 7-4, Gilbert to Bossy, 48th goal of the year, 8-4 Islanders win it.
The Rangers' mini 2-game win streak ended. At the Coliseum tonight, Islanders lost to the Winnipeg Jets. Final there, 3-2 Winnipeg. The main event of the night, Dwayne Sutter of the Isles, Perry Turnbull of Winnipeg. Anything goes here. They even attempted to kick each other. The Jets got off to a 2-0 lead. Early second period on the breakaway. Doug Smale with his 21st goal of the season. And then 70 seconds later, Winnipeg makes it a 3-zip lead. One-time Ranger stick boy Brian Mullen with his 27th of the year. Islanders did close to 3-2 off a good pass from LaFontaine. Bob Nystrom managing to score his first of the year, and the Isles had a chance to tie it late in the game, but Brent Sutter was stopped by the goalie Brian Hayward. Jets over the Islanders by the score of 3-2.
At the game up north tonight, the Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens, New York out to a 3-1 lead. They scored off the face-off, and then Clark Gillies centered one to Pat LaFontaine. It was 3-1 Islanders, but this was played at the Forum, and the Canadiens came back nicely. Bob Gainey with a quick shot in the slot. There it is. Bingo. He beat Kelly Rudy with that one. It was 3-2. On to the third period. Montreal scoring the only goal. The rebound to Guy Carbonneau, and he was right there for the goal. Tie game 3-3. On to overtime, and the Canadiens end it quickly. 44 seconds into the extra period. Carbonneau to Gainey, and this one was history. Montreal winning it 4-3. Not a bad game up north.
Delano, he centered it across. Smith goes out to knock it away from Nielsen, and it's cleared down the ice. And the shot right on, level in the 17 mark in the second period, and they'll be sending Dwayne Sutter right back to the penalty box again. Calgary out shooting the Islanders. Greg Gilbert and Kerry Eloranta.
Tough to get any leverage. Talked about
get around Morrow's check. Roche knocks Reinhardt into the board. Morrow with the puck. Out comes Lemelin to cover up. Lane colliding with him as he carry Wilson. Can't get the shot away. Boudelier slowed him up, and there'll be a penalty on the play. Smith makes the save. Playing Potvin's pass just past the corner of the net. Donald, the band on the shot, and dumped it. A break in the action as well, with just over 12 minutes to play in the third period. Otto is one of the clean uniforms. Hunters is faded as Otto dumps it into the island.
Straight into him. Here's Baxter. You see him looking. There's the pass. He was watching the pass. And away. His left leg seems to have got
Boudelier is checked by Persson. The puck goes loose. It's in deep, and his backhander is blocked routine.
Thing only on the right side. Take a look as
That's a shot going. It was wide of the net. They're yelling and screaming, but they held the Islander player in the goal crease. And that seems to be the indication for the referee that he was not in there on his own, was being held, and it's 1-0.
Puck coming off the backboard. John Tonelli now alone in the net. Now, he was put in there originally, I would have to guess, by the defenseman against the crossbar. Then John Tonelli, as he tries to get out, with Lemon laying on the ice, the puck deflects off everybody. They talked about old-fashioned hockey. Here we go again. Pile up in the goal crease. The goal is Brent Sutter from Flatley and Potvin. That's the official. You don't. Paul Boudelier then rides. Is that Huck and Lube? I'm not sure. I believe it's Hunter. But that's a butt end. That's a deliberate attempt to injure.
Now we're going to get some penalties with the score. The Islanders won. McDonald, he comes over center. Larry McDonald. Defense gave it to Janssen into Brent Sutter. Conroy is checked. Rache broke his stick. Rise ground.
Getting
Calgary
tippy
captain.
and open, Jigs. And Greg Gilbert was hit from the side, thinking that he was just going to hit into the boards. The door opened. He hit into the frame. Now,
It gets over the line, pulled it away from Bossy, then Parks here on the right. An assist on the Islander goal. Maybe another change. We'll see if we can't get that for you. At Flatley carries it into the center ice area and lost it. We're into the final.
he set up the tying goal by Conroy. And then he comes from Smith, moves to his left looking, but instinctively shot back to the right, knowing that that's where McDonald was headed. But he was a little too late, and the puck deflected off.
And Quinn gets an assist. Janssen and Potvin are on defense. For Calgary, it's Risebrow. Lemelin let it get away from him. Bossy trying to sweat the first empty net goal given up by the Islanders this season.
The gamble, and trying to keep the puck in play, trying to move it back. Lanny McDonald intercepted it, and there he does. He shoots it into the open net with a shot from just inside. As Potvin tried to advance it, he could only advance it as far as the blue line, but...
Big goal for the Islanders to get started on the road the right way. Brian Trache led the rush to center ice. He drops the puck for Kaller, and with the lead defenseman as a screen, Kaller took the shot. Bernhardt thinks he's got it, but now he realizes that it's slip line for a Springfield 5. Rudy the save, and no doubt Hart got in front of it. And Lehman is there to 5 to Daoud. It was broken up neatly by the second game of the season. The Leafs have to start from deep in their own zone. So Kaller moved in on the killing of the Toronto Maple Leafs, ranked as 15. Kaller
in a row, they're in Buffalo against the Sabres. First period is 1-1 Islanders in dark. Gord Dineen centers to Dwayne Sutter. He rams it in. Isles take a 2-1 lead. Go on to the third period. The Sabres cannot control the puck, and they pay. Again, it is Brent Sutter skates in and scores 3-2 Islanders.
15th of March, the Islanders and the Capitals again. 5 o'clock start. Prop trying to come into the Islanders zone. Potvin slowed him up. Prop goes back to the net. Centered one. They score! Craven from Prop, and we're tied 2-2. Hustle by Brian Prop down the Poland is 20th from Prop and Howe. The shots from Prop and Howe at 2:18 of sudden going on in the stands over to our right, but be that as it may, Philadelphia gets the victory in overtime. They thought they had won it in regulation time. With like this, Jigs, is that one team had to win. Well, I guess they could have left it at a tie, but they won it, plaguing them again. And it wasn't really anything that that season. And then Tony at 9. Now we're getting up there. Second of 9 to reach 50. And then Ron Graham for the Quebec Nordique. 50 goals in 50 games. Remember.
Coach Al Arbor obviously not happy about the loss, said, but we're going to look at the bright spots. He says, I'm confident. He said, we didn't play well. He's right up there with the best and the very best. He says 50 goals in 1 year. Consistently what Michael Bossy had for us to win at Nassau Coliseum. Talking about his club, he said, we've got a young team.
Coliseum, a wild one. Islanders back from a 3-1 deficit, and then they lost to the Flyers in overtime. 5-4 minute 35 left. It was Lindsey Carson scoring for Philly on a trickler, a bad break to the Isles. Flyers back on top 4-3. Then 57 seconds left in regulation. The goalie pulled extra skater on. Mike Bossy, second of the night, 51st on the season, tying it at 4, record 8 straight 50-goal season. But in overtime, here is Dave Pullen, product of Notre Dame, doing it with 2 minutes and 18 seconds gone by an OT. And that's
He extends his own NHL record for 50-goal seasons in a row. This is 50th of the year. He's done it in each of his 8 seasons in the league. After Isles fell behind 4-3, Bossy sends it into OT with 57 seconds left.
To center ice. The puck comes loose. Greg Gilbert along the left wing boards. Takes a look. Gave it to Lane. Now to Langevin. Langevin from center ice dumps it in wide of Lindbergh, and Sutter in his pursuit was dragged down. Lane trying to center one. It was broken up, and the Flyers come up quickly. A breaking pass coming right in on goal. Poland scores.
will be costly every time in a hockey game that's tied at 2 apiece. The Islanders make a big error, and Philadelphia score a goal. Poulin breaks away. Let's take a look. There's the pass.
You got that right. Unassisted goal, Matt Saline. But you have to think of the work that Dwayne Sutter did to get the whole thing set up in the Flyer end of the ice. Saline forechecking. The Flyers get loose with a pass to Craven, who lost it. Couldn't recover, and Gerald Dinnick slaps it down the boards. It spins its way into the Flyer zone. We're tied 3-3. Brad Marsh to Murray Craven. Craven plays it across in the center ice area. Dinnick got a poke at it. Matt Saline picks it up and dumps it out to center. That's for Craven back for Philadelphia. Craven, Brown, who handed it right to Potvin. Potvin trying to get away from Craven in the center ice area. Up the left wing boards, and he dumped it in. 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Here's Marsh starting out with a pass to Brown. Dave Brown put it right on Janssen's stick as the Islanders rush him every time he handles the puck. Janssen comes in on the left side, dragged down by McCrimmon. Bossy centered one that was cleared at the side of the net. Here's Bossy back to the point to the knee. His shot. He scores! How about that? He hit the goalpost in the first period. This time he put it in just inside the same goalpost in about identical spot from about the same distance. And Gord Dineen. Good play, Bossy, controlling the puck. There's the pass. Look at that wrist shot by Gord Dineen. It may have been deflected. It is. Deflected by John Tonelli, right in front of Pelle Lindbergh and the Islanders, who trailed with just over 3 minutes to go in this hockey game, are now leading it. There it is, double tip. John Tonelli is the last Islander to tip it right in front of Lindbergh, and it's into the top right-hand corner, and the Islanders have sent the Philadelphia Flyers reeling here in the last couple of minutes. Out here, the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers from the spectrum net. Those puck is cleared. The shot forward and triple net. Trying to put it in front, does. Gord Dineen, it's going wide of the St. Louis net. Brent Sutter in after.
6-5 early second period. Brent Sutter scoring on the power play off the pass from Mike Bossy for Sutter, number 41 on the season. Only 49 seconds later, Sutter again on the power play. On the rebound is 42nd, and the Isles lead 3-1. Midway through the second, Blues came back. New York product Joe Mullen with his 33rd of the year. That tied it at 3, and 10 seconds later, Islanders recapture the lead on this score by Pat Flatley.
The Islanders had 10 shots on goal and the game total of 29. Leader Sports again tomorrow evening with the Islanders.
Just come to an end. The Islanders win it by a final of 6-5. Pick up the action second period. 5-4 Isles. John Tonelli sets up Tomas Janssen. There it is, the wrist shot. 6-4 Islanders. They hang on for a 6-5 decision. Over at the Meadowlands division, all they need is a win, but they can't do it. Winnipeg 6 and the Devils 3.
Potvin with the slap shot, 5-3 Isles. Bernie Fedorko with 2 goals for the Blues. This was his second from under Billy Smith's glove, 5-4 Isles. Tomas Janssen then netted the game winner a minute later, making it 6-4. 9 goals scored in the second period, which ended 6-5. None in the third, so that was the final, 6-5 Isles over the Blues. We did have one.
Goalies that the Whalers now have. Keep your eyes and ears open for another deal, folks. He is healthy again, scores on the rebound, and the Blues come back to tie it 3-3. But again, the Islanders come on strong. Dennis Potvin with a long screen shot that gets...
His balance to Doug Wilson. He shot it wide. It's off soft.
Kind of a cutoff point. And
so the backhand walks in. Rudy the save. He juggled it in the air. Here's Bossy with a shot. Patterman got a piece of it. Bossy put it out to them. And Rudy side of the Islander net cleared by Persson. So what a stop by Rudy. Loose puck. They jam at it on the scramble. And it's called now.
The Islanders and Blackhawks, 13 seconds into the game. Dwayne Sutter, the long slap shot, could have beat Murray Bannerman somehow. And it's 1-0. Islanders. Second period, tied at 2. Paul Boudelier, the shot, somehow gets over to Bobby Nystrom. It's 3-2 Islanders. Right now it's 4-3 Isles. Denny Potvin, the go-ahead goal late in the third.
Puck back to Doug Wilson. Center one in front. It hit Fraser. They shoot. It's blocked underneath the defenseman, and he is high above the goal.
Dove and made a save. Some of the Chicago Blackhawks thought the puck was in the net. Right here, there's the shot. As much body as he could. In front
sounds, and Kelly Rudy is congratulated by his teammates.
You might say the monkey is off his back. A victory after 5 straight losses.
In favor of the Islanders. Chicago on a power play, and it's finished off by Steve Larmer. Slams it into the net on the open side. Larmer go to Bob Nystrom, and Nystrom just ripping a low wrist shot into the far corner. A penalty to Dwayne Sutter. Looking like we've already seen this play. There's the play in front of the net. Kelly Rudy had to move on the puck. There it is, a shot. It trickled by him and into the net. Larmer getting his second of the game, his 41st of the season at 18:49. Tied the score. Dennis Potvin to Nystrom. Nystrom makes a beautiful move. He paid the price. He gave it to the captain, and boom, what a wrist shot. He ripped into the lower right-hand corner. Bossy through center ice, and he tees it up. And yes, the patented Bossy rip, and it gets in the net behind Riggin, making it 2-1 pursuit. Greg Gilbert passes it. Flatley had got up, moved back out in front of the net, and slammed it in. At 10:07, the Islanders tied the score. 2-0 right here. There's the pass. Bang. Mike Gardner slams it in. Gardner in.
And 3 ties for 24. To Anders Kaller. Kaller turns ahead for LaFontaine. Off his skates. He ran into Laughlin as well. And Darren Beach forces the Islanders to pick it up again on their own end of the ice. To Anders Kaller. Kaller turns ahead for LaFontaine. Off his skates. He ran into Laughlin as well. And Darren Beach forces the Islanders to pick it up again on their own end of the ice.
Islanders have already secured a spot in the NHL playoffs, and they're now trying to put a cohesive team on the ice. And just when things were starting to fall in place, the Islanders were hit with yet another injury. With time running out in the second period, Brent Sutter gets the puck, and he skates towards the goal. 2 players converge on him. They collide. Sutter hits the ice hard. The replay will show just how hard that Sutter fell on his shoulder. 2 Penguins squeezed in on him. He hit the ice, and the initial report is that Brent Sutter has a dislocated shoulder. The Isles won the game, beating Washington by a count of 6-4. It was their 4th straight victory. John Tonelli with a good game for the Islanders. Tonelli with 2 goals. The Isles beat the Caps 6-4, but as I said, a tough victory. They lost Brent Sutter. Down in Florida today, the Yankees scored 6 times.
It's 3-3 off the draw. The puck ends up with number 6, Ken Morrow. His first goal of the year beats Pat Riggin. Isles go up 4-3. Now, late in the second, Brent Sutter.
First round of the playoffs, the Capitals' Bobby Carpenter getting credit for that goal, and it was a 3-3 tie. The Islanders take the lead here. Ken Morrow's shot finds the net somehow through that maze of players. It was 4-3 New York. Here come the Caps again on the power play. A beautiful pass over to Mike Gartner, who scores, and another tie, 4-4. And here comes the game winner. Time running out in the second period. John Tonelli rips one past Pat Riggin, and the Islanders go on to win it by 2.
Win over the slumping Caps, who've lost 4 of their last.
Literally, as Brent Sutter here tries to take Peter Anderson's head off. 20 seconds into the game, Mike Bossy scores from close in, and the Isles go out on top 1-0. But the Caps fight back with 2 first-period goals. Second one coming here as Dave Christian feeds Craig Laughlin in the crease. He gets it by Kelly Rudy. The Caps up 2-1 after 1. It was tied then, and then the Isles recaptured the lead. Brent Sutter digging behind the net, gets it in front to John Tonelli, and he beats Pat Riggin. Isles go out on top 3-2. The Caps get even, and with the score tied at 4, it's Tonelli again. Nice move out of the corner, slaps one by Riggin, and the Isles go out on top again 5-4. Then with 6 minutes to play in the game, Dwayne Sutter ices this one, the 45-footer that just skips by Pat Riggin, and that was it. The Isles go on to beat the Caps by the score of 6-4. We're looking.
Got it to Potvin. To Johnson, who fired on the fly to the circle.
White lead 2-0. Dave Poulin splits the New York defense. He'll fire it over the glove of Billy Smith for the score, 3-0. Now, to the second period, the Flyers lead 3-1. Doug Crossman at the top of the screen. Will let it fly here. He's challenging Billy Smith, and he wins again. The Flyers in control, 4-1. Third period, Paul Boudelier with a shot off the post across the mouth of the goal. Mike Bossy snaps the loose puck into the net. Not enough, though. The Flyers add to their Patrick Division lead, 5-3 over the Islanders. The Irish celebrating in Philly.
Shoots, bad save by Janicek, and the rebound is knocked loose. There's Potvin. Back it goes to Johnson. Off the side of the net. Trottier not to it. Gives it to Tonelli. Back to Johnson. 13 seconds in this power play. The boards out of the reach. Coming right in on goal. Corko in deep. Centered one across, and it was just out of the reach of Henry.
Strong tonight.
edge the Kings at the Coliseum. Final score is 3-2. Highlights: controversial goal in the second period. Kings trail 1-0. Puck bounces off Kelly Rudy up in the air. He's cross-checked by Tiger Williams. The puck lands in the net as it comes off the post. It's ruled a goal, and you got to wonder about that call. Second period. Isles on the attack. Nice feed. Tomas Janssen to John Tonelli. Isles take the lead 2-1. Good-looking dance from John right there. Finally, 3.5 minutes to go in the game, all tied at 2. Lucky goal. Dwayne Sutter in front. Defenseman falls down in front of him, and the puck goes in. Isles win 3-2.
Again, right there, and another save by Glenn Hanlon. The rebound, Flatley up high. A beautiful goal by Pat Flatley. And it comes right back. But watch Gressner and Osborne in the right corner of your screen. Interfering with Billy Smith and...
Rangers trailing 4-1. And with a lead, Rangers when trailing 126-4. Needs penalty. Blocked by Morrow. In Smith stops it. Around the board. Patrick backhander stopped by Smith. Patrick behind the net. Hanlon to Ledger. Saved by
Today life. USA Today is classy.
Checked by Ruotsalainen. Winds it around for Kortko. To Tonelli. Mid-bar.
Bossy beats Hanlon, makes it 3-0 at the end of a period. Flatley in the second period made it 4-0 for the Islanders, but then on a power play, Ruotsalainen scored to make it 4-1, and in the third period, Pierre LaRouche has scored with 8 minutes to go. It is 4-2 in favor of the Islanders. John.
And Johnny Maloney did not expect that young man to throw him, and he did.
Well, things getting rough here. Ledyard made the check along the boards. Comes skating 4 aside for another. Bossy comes out, centers, and it's knocked aside. Trottier with a good move. Leinen, Ruotsalainen, save Smith. Rebound, loose. Gressner stopped by Smith. And he's got it underneath the third period. Rangers now out shooting the...
Trottier still goes out there, takes all the big draws.
Flex loose in front. Kortko clears it by Sunso. Law. Gressner. Fan rides him down. Pulled him down. Over 100 points. Dwayne Sutter gets in. He scores. What a move by Dwayne Sutter. Well, we were talking about his brother. Might as well keep it in the family. Dwayne Sutter puts this one away. It is 5-2 Islanders.
You heard me yell, what was that? Only because he walked right between Weimer and James Patrick like nothing. Now watch Weimer. He cuts across. Now he touched it and went after the puck. And he beats Glenn Hanlon.
18:09 the time. 5-2 is the score, and the Islanders will have the first road victory of this season series and will clinch the season series 4-3.
Caller at 18:09, and Dwayne Sutter has scored a goal, including tonight's game in the last 6 games in a row.
Crossing. Hanlon stops the puck. And Nick Couture. Yep. Boards. And that does it. This one is all over. The New York Islanders have won the season series from the Rangers as they come into Madison Square Garden and win it 5-2. 2 goals by Anders Kaller and 1 by Mike Bossy in the first period.
Islanders won it easily, 5-2. First period action here, Isles in blue. They lead 2-0. Mike Bossy breaks out untouched just inside the blue line. Lets one go, beating Glenn Hanlon. It's 3-0 Isles. On to the second period. Isles still leading 3-0. The power play, Dennis Potvin with the shot. The puck comes loose in front. Patrick Flatley scores it, 4-0 Islanders. Third period now, the Rangers trailing 4-1. Grant Ledger with the shot here, the rebound in front. Pierre LaRouche puts it in, 4-2. Rangers coming back, but they fall short.
Surgery is necessary. U.B. Brown, the Knicks coach, called it the climax to an unfortunate season. The Rangers may hold a 5-point lead over Pittsburgh for the last playoff spot in the Patrick Division, but the Rangers are stumbling and fumbling into the playoffs. The Islanders won 5-2 at the Garden tonight. The Rangers' third straight win, only 1 victory in the last 9 games. Anders Kaller, an unlikely hero for the Islanders, popped a pair directing a Dwayne Sutter pass, 2-0 Islanders in the first period. About 7 minutes later, the boss, not Springsteen, I'm talking about Mike Bossy with a slapper, his 55th. Flutie and Walker in the fourth quarter, and big money moments in golf and tennis if you keep it where it is.
The Rangers remain 5 points ahead of Pittsburgh, 7 in front of the Devils. Here's action from the early first period. Anders Kaller picks up the loose puck in front, beats Glenn Hanlon. His first of 2 goals, 1-0 Isles. Now, midway through the first, Mike Bossy flying down the right side. Let's go a bullet, his 55th goal, 3-0 Islanders. They win it 5-2.
That was stopped right at the blue line by Patrick Flatley. Ruotsalainen picked it up again. There's his second shot. It's in the net. They get on the scoreboard. Ruotsalainen's 27th from Pavlich and Greshner. Ball. Patrick
Minnesota in 15th place. Detroit is 16th. Detroit at 18th spot. The Rangers are, and they're in 18th spot, or at least it appears that they'll go to the playoffs.
New York Islander.
Good pursuit of the puck. Dave Semenko in doing some heavy hitting and into the right side.
John Buckler on the headset upstairs. Henson is drive. Now they go in. And the Cullen with the right hand, Lane with his right. Well, the 2 linesmen, Norris and Brossiker, getting ready to step in. Earlier.
Beat them all 7 times this year. Nassau Coliseum last night, the Islanders eliminated the Penguins 4-3. I hope they did it easier than I said it. Let's go to the videotape. Second period, 2-1 Islanders. Bossy shoots. LaFontaine follows 3-1. And then Gary Rissling certainly takes a shot at people, says, Mike Bossy, I don't like superstars. Third period, now 3-3. The winning goal, Gilly shoots, beating Ford 4-3 Islanders. The Blues beat the Devils, so the Devils eliminated. Brawl in the Pistons-Pacers game last night. Let's go to the videotape right there. And then it's Bill Lambier on the ground. Here's Lambier.
Scores his first goal in the last 13 games. It's 3-1 Isles. Now, talk about looking down the barrel of a gun. Linesman Ron Asselstein knows he's going to be hit by the puck, covers up, still gets hit on the left ankle. Oh, that smarts. He was okay, stayed in the game. Now, 52 seconds left in the second period. Penguins trailing 3-2. Mario Lemieux passes in front to Warren Young. He scores it, and they're tied at 3 apiece. Third period, still tied at 3. Isles on the power play. Clark Gillies with the slapper beats Brian Ford. Isles win it 4-3. Penguins out of the playoff picture. Rangers in.
My game takes precision timing.
10 years to the day by high and low to go back to 1974-75, and let's relive some great moments in New York Islander history. In Game 1 against the Rangers, the Islanders won by a score of 3-2. They were defeated 8-3 on the 10th of April, setting up the third and final game. And remember, at that time, it was only a best-of-3 series. They went to Madison Square Garden on the 11th of April. It was 22 minutes after 11. The score was tied 3-3. That's Bill Smith in the Islander goal, getting ready as his team comes back for the overtime. Shots on goal. You saw the clock now into the overtime. The puck goes into the Rangers zone. Eddie Jockman was in goal. You'll see Ed Westfall come into your picture over in the far corner wearing number 18. The Rangers unable to move the puck around the board. In comes Jude Drouin. J.P. Parisi is parked right there in the goal, top of the goal crease. And in slow motion, you see the puck elude Eddie Jockman and the New York Islanders. And staved off elimination. Emil Francis, then the coach and general manager of the Rangers, couldn't believe it. The traditional handshake at center ice. But the Islanders in overtime had defeated the Rangers 4-3. The Cat went over to congratulate Al Arbor. And the captain made his appearance next as you see the handshake continued. Eddie Westfall, who had been on playoff winners in Boston, and his first playoff win as a New York Islander in a series. Billy Harris comes in as well. And the Islanders next. We heard Billy Harris say that they partied a great deal. Spotted Pittsburgh the first 3 games. Scores were 5-4. 3 back to the game of Pittsburgh. Remember the old double blue uniforms worn by the Penguins? Glenn Resch had one of his greatest games ever in a New York Islander uniform as Pittsburgh outshot the Islanders, outplayed them for the most part that night, but the Islanders won it on an Eddie Westfall goal, 1-0. And the Islanders had won the second series in the playoffs, and that would put them with a 4-0 shutout. In Game 2, it was 5-4. Again, it was Glenn Resch in the Islander goal. And our videotape highlights show us the penalty shot. Bill Barber against Glenn Resch. What a save right here, going out to his right.
and robbing Bill Barber. The game went to overtime. See his teammates come back to congratulate Glenn Resch. Remember this man, Jude Drouin, in overtime. Yes, the Islanders had defeated Philadelphia 4-3 for their first of 3 consecutive wins in that playoff series. And at that stretch, the Islander reputation as a tough team may have really come to the fore. Clark Gillies and Dave Schultz. Eddie Westfall in some of the action, and again Glenn Resch. Remember Philadelphia using the record of Kate Smith singing God Bless America? Well, to get the victory, they brought Kate Smith to the Spectrum. The Islanders knew it. They anticipated. Eddie Westfall presented her with roses. The Islanders went back to talk to her and shake hands with her, trying to break whatever jinx she may have had. But you know, the Dornhofer scored early in that game, and Philadelphia went on to defeat the New York Islanders, eliminating them in Game 7. The Flyers would eventually win the Stanley Cup, eliminating the Buffalo Sabres in 6 games. But would have been a great playoff run.
I bet. I bet Bill's on the phone right now. Marv, you hear the phone ringing in there?
All right, Chico, but they are still, yes, talking trade, and Rolly Melanson was in goal tonight for the Islanders against the Devils. Smith yet to play the season. The Islanders off to a slow start, and when rookie Kirk Muller scored his first of 2 in the game, early second period, the Devils led by the score of 2-1. Visions of another upset over the Islanders, but not tonight. Early third, watch this weird goal by Paul Boudelier, providing the Islanders with a 3-2 lead off a bizarre deflection. 17 seconds in to the third. Now, a minute later, Mike Bossy, beautiful moves. His second of the game opens a 4-2 lead. Islanders held on to win it 6-4.
Got a little measure of revenge tonight on Long Island. After having lost to the Devils Friday night at the Meadowlands, the Isles came back to win this time around 6-4. Second period action here, Devils in red, tied 1-1. Tim Higgins makes a great play while on his knees, flips it in front. Mel Bridgman manages to deflect it past Rolly Melanson, 2-1 Devils. But then the Isles took over. Still second period. John Tonelli in front of the Devils' goal. His shot is stopped, but Mike Bossy right there to flip it in. It's tied 2-2. Third period now, the freak goal of the game. Paul Boudelier takes a shot from the point. It hits the backboards, bounces out, hits goaltender Hanu Kampuri in the back of the skates and goes in. Baudelier gets credit for the goal. It's 3-2 Isles. Later in the period, the pass of the game. Clark Gillies finds Mike Bossy streaking down the middle. Bossy fakes, shoots, scores. 4-2 Isles.
The backhand.
Devils in overtime. Devils and Islanders play a 4-4 tie. Mike Bossy continuing his red-hot pace on the power play. Early first, his 52nd of the season. Now, early second period, a break for the Devils. Watch the shot by Paul Gagner. It never went in, and the Islanders went berserk over the call, but the Devils are owed a few of these. They have been burned a couple of times this season. Devils down 4-2. They pull the goalie. It paid off. That was Pichette with 40 seconds left, making it 4-3. And then with only 9 seconds left in regulation, Pat Verbeek with the gorgeous move tied the game at 4. That's how it ended. We applied.
Final. When is a goal not really a goal? Right here. Bridgman feeds Gagner. Gagner's stick goes in the net, but Smith saves it, and the puck is out. But the referee says goal. Smith says, come on, give me a break. The stick went in, not the puck. Forget it, Billy. Now, 4-2 Islanders, 40 seconds left in regulation. From the faceoff, Dave Pichette makes it 4-3. Then, 16 seconds left. Muller feeds Verbeek. Verbeek, one-on-one against Smith. Verbeek wins it, ties the game 4-4 tied. With the Penguins losing, the Devils tie Pittsburgh for 5th place.
Mike Bossy, his second goal of the game, his 53rd overall, claiming that Mike used his hand to direct the puck. Now, seconds later, 2-0 Isles. Devils scored without the puck entering the net. Paul Gagner tipped Mel Bridgman's shot. Billy Smith made the pad save. Gagner's black tape stick blade hit the net, not the puck. Verbeek and Pichette scored 31 seconds apart in the last 40 seconds. Scored 3 times on the
First American.
Lear to shot from the point is tipped by Billy Sticker. Comes back to Johnson. Johnson indeed shoots. Rush Gillies may have tipped it. He was caught to the straight side of Glenn Resch. The Islanders using the power play to take a 2-1 lead. As they did in the first goal, it was Clark Gillies. He faked it well. Resch went for it. There's the stick flying, the glove flying. The back in, then picked up Smith right up on top of the goal crease. Made on. That sailed wide of the net. Into Bridgman with
impressive win the other night against Buffalo. Doug Keene's sensational in goal. 14 saves in the first period alone, 35 for the night. probably the best of the season by a Boston goalie. That same night, Montreal.
Antonelli back to Thomas Johnson tonight. Bossy to LaFontaine. He shoots. West kicks it out. Off the stick.
Rely on the New Jersey Devils to lay down. You can't rely on them to mess up opportunities in the offensive zone. Right here, beautiful opportunity. Higgins. Bridgman whacks at it. It deflects off somebody, something, and went in the net. It's in the net, and it's a 5-4 lead for the New Jersey Devils with 1 minute and 15 seconds.
It is in the corner. You'll see Drew Druin was going to come in there first. And then I come in. We had a little play where you normally would go in the left corner in that particular play. But then I changed my mind. As you see, Jude's going to pick up the puck there, and I just changed my mind. I just came back in front. And here I am with the open net, perfect pass. I became a hero, somebody else's work. Look at this. It was an easy goal.
The front of the net as Sutter was tripped up. No penalty call. The fans. Gillies puts it out in front of it off his stick. Picked up. Scores! John Tonelli. The dramatics continue for that man. There's his 100th point, and the game is tied at 5-5. Well. Don't leave your seats, folks. It's not over until it's over. John Tonelli, with only 48 seconds remaining in the hockey season, trying desperately all night long to get a point that would give him 100. Finally gets it. Mike Bossy, along with Mark Gillies, set it up. There's the play by Bossy to John Tonelli. He deflects it into the top of the net, and the Islanders look like they're regaining the way on how to win hockey games. At least tie them at this point. Mark Gillies to Mike Bossy. Bossy held the puck until Tonelli was loose. Gave it to him, and he pops it in the top of the net. Tying the score at 5 apiece. His 42nd goal of the season, his 100th point of the season. And John Tonelli, 15th straight victory in the National Hockey League to get the 15th straight victory in the first game. Up by Higgins. Now Flatley digs it out of the corner boards. It's picked up by West. Drops it off. Brent Sutter gets turned around. And trying to cut in. His backhander hit Potvin. Trying to do it. The season ends in a 5-5 tie against the New Jersey Devils. John Tonelli getting the goal to gain a point for the Islanders and also gain his 100th career point this season. But your final score is the Islanders 5 and the Devils.
The proceeding has been a special presentation of ICENET, the Islanders Championship Entertainment Network.